Okay, so we're here today. I'm going to explain a few things about the assessment task, and hopefully that'll help you, or at least guide you in how to approach the assessment task. So the first thing you'll want to do is you will want to go to the Lumen 10 Wiki Spaces page, which you can see up here. Click on Australia and its regional global context, and it will take you to this page. And at the very top here, you'll see Geography Assessment Task. Click the link below it, open up the Word file. Once that's loaded, open the Word file, and you can see it here. Okay, so you are going to write an extended response, and you're going to have a whole period to do it. You write it in class, and it's about Australia's links with the Asia-Pacific region. Okay, now you choose one of the links, one of these dot points down here, just one. Today I'm going to refer to foreign aid only because it's the one we've done in class, and if you're doing sport, then you'll need to just adjust it so that you can account for sport. Now, in terms of resources that you can use, I mean, there's your own research that you conduct on the internet, of course, or you can use the textbook. You can use a combination of both. If you're doing foreign aid, you can by all means use all of the documents that are on this page. You can use you can look at these links here. All right, could be useful to you. But further down the page here, you will see Australia's links, foreign aid. So what would be useful to you? Okay, well this one here would be, this is the notebook document. If you don't have notebook on your computer, you won't be able to open this. You should be able to open it at school. So you can download it and open it. You've also recorded details on a worksheet that I gave you a while ago, so you should have some information from that. You've also got the PowerPoint. Now, if I were you, I'd go to your own PowerPoint. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see you've got projects at the top there, the PowerPoint where you uploaded it. Go check it out, have a look at it. Okay, information sheet on Australia's foreign aid program, also very useful. Probably more so for the first part of the task. Here's your case study on the Pakistan floods, PDF version, and of course you've got the answers in your book as well. You've got some information on the Solomon Island flood disaster. You could use that as a case study. And of course the video about whether or not we give enough foreign aid. Also information here about the foreign aid budget. By all means, go and have a look at that as well. Okay. So I'll go back to the task sheet here. And you can see, so choosing one of those. Now, these are the 4 dot points that you need to ensure that you cover when you're writing the response. So you must have an outline of the link. Now, this is like an overview. This is the background information that is required for the reader to understand what it is the rest of your essay is about. So this is where you might talk about, for example, if we're talking in terms of foreign aid, we might write about how much foreign aid we give to countries overseas, which countries are receiving that foreign aid, how much foreign aid is in the budget for those countries, and what's the reason why we're giving these countries foreign aid. Have they suffered from disaster and the money needs to be spent to recoup and get back to the way things were in that country? Do we give money to these countries to make them economically sustainable? What sort of aid are we giving them? Do we give them straight up cash, money? Or are we giving them food? Are we giving them expertise? You want to include those sorts of discussions in here. And that might be probably no more than 2 paragraphs. So outline the link and provide which countries are involved. Okay, the big ones are going to be countries like the Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, possibly even Cambodia. It's going to be those poorer nations that generally are closer to us in distance. You need to explain Australia's roles and responsibilities in relation to the Asia Pacific region. So what's our role within the region? Well, we play a role as in we're a bit of a big brother to many of these countries, and we provide a helping hand to keep their economy sustainable, to keep their country politically safe, to avoid corruption, to help people create jobs. And our role is to support. And our responsibility is basically that we're the richer nation within the region, and it is our responsibility to take care of our neighbours, much like we would take care of our neighbours in the home. So it's not easy for a country, for example, like Cambodia, to help out Vietnam, because Cambodia is a poor country. So their responsibility within the region is not, the expectations are not the same. So we need a discussion about this, okay? This is probably where a case study would be good, okay? This is where you could talk about what Care Australia does and its role, about what individuals do and what governments are doing. What responsibility are they taking? Which countries are we more responsible for? Which countries are we not as responsible for? These are the types of discussions you'll want to have in this section, this second dot point here. The third one, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the link for Australia. And you should have some notes on this, okay? And you will want to discuss, explore, use the resources that I've provided for you. You need to pull it out. There's no black and white answer. So if you believe that there are many advantages for Australia, you'll need to discuss them. You need to provide some evidence. And if you believe that there are some disadvantages, again, you need to provide some evidence and pull some information out. I would suggest, if I can just switch screens here for a minute, there was one particular link that I think would be very useful for us. I'm just having a look for it. And might be this one here, Australia's foreign aid budget. If not, I'll fix that up and I'll put it down the bottom here if it's not on there. I believe it is though. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so make sure you have that discussion. Now you can have as many graphs, maps, statistics as you like, okay, and you need to use it as evidence to support your statements. So you can make a graph, you can copy a graph, you can paste it onto the page and write around it or above or below it. You could have a source page at the end of your response and refer to source 1 or refer to source 2. That's up to you as to how you want to arrange and organise your work. But you should have already planned how you're going to use the graphs, which maps you're going to use, which statistics you're going to use during the one period response. You should also, at minimum, have a plan for your response, and you must also practice your response so that when you come in on the day, you know exactly what needs to be done. Okay. All right. And just to clarify, it's a 500-word response, not 800, as the old or first draft sheet identified. Worth 20% of your overall formal assessment mark. Take note of this. Yep, what you're allowed to bring in, what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to use. Okay. And check, of course, your work, your diary for the assessment task policy. Okay, so just going to pause here for a moment. Bear with me while I do that. There we go. Okay, so one other thing that I wanted to point out was you can see here the overview. Okay, and the particular document that would be very useful to you is Understanding Australia's Overseas Aid policy basically. So click on the link. I'm going to do that now, and we'll just open that up. It'll take a moment to load. I've given you this in print form, but this is the colour version. It's much easier to read, and you can blow it up and read the text. On the hard copy, it was very small. Okay, so here we go. In terms of advantage and disadvantage, as I spoke to another student recently, and this here is going to basically discuss advantage and disadvantage, but they've used different language here. Okay, so by all means, you can focus on that. I'm just going to zoom in. Read that. Okay, so does aid reach those in need? So look for advantages and disadvantages in here. And same with this, is aid effective? So this is a really good discussion point. Use it, read it, get some info out of it. Australia's, this is also very good. Effective aid works. This is going to be an advantage. If it's effective, then it should be used. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here and then I'm going to wrap up. I just want to point out some of this information here. So here are some graphs that you can use and maps that you can use. And look at all the data in here. If you look carefully, there's actually a lot of data in here. You should have a look at this and get some information on it. Okay, you can use the graphs here. You need to turn these into discussions. So for example, you might say that because Australia is saving lives, it builds respect within our country. We are respected by other countries because, 18% of our foreign aid, that is 18%, is going towards actions that actually directly save lives. And you can turn that discussion, you can have that discussion based on all of this data in here. Same with this here. Where do we give aid? Some good information there as well. All the types of aid. I'll leave that with you. So, thanks for listening.